In today's society, we see a growing problem with diseases such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. While there are many reasons this is happening, arguably the leading cause always trails back to high fructose corn syrup. My name is Ali Brooks, and today I'll be interviewing an entrepreneur, a food scientist, as well as a nutritionist, all people who can help you understand what high fructose corn syrup is really doing to your bodies. Today I'm here with Mr. Robert Cade Jr., the son of Robert Cade, the creator of Gatorade. Mr. Cade, how are you doing today?
Mr. Cade is my father. Call me Bobby.
Okay, Bobby, what caused you to get involved in the world of food?
It's because of my father. He said if I didn't, I wouldn't get my inheritance, so here I am.
So, can you tell me what you know about high fructose corn syrup?
To be honest, not a lot. All I know is that it makes this company a lot of money.
You may be in it just for the money, but what do you think about all the health concerns that come along with it?
Since when are there health concerns?
Quite a few, actually, like type 2 diabetes and obesity.
No, I don't think so, because Gatorade is drank all around the world by athletes who are in the best shape of their lives.
So, if your product is healthy, then why is it banned in countries like England?
I choose to not answer that question.
Again, if countries like England are banning your product, why wouldn't you change the ingredients and replace high fructose corn syrup with natural sugars?
Because it's my business and I can do what I want with it. Also, high fructose corn syrup is cheap, so why wouldn't I use it?
So you're okay risking the health of your consumers to save a couple dollars?
I didn't say that.
Sir, you own a billion-dollar company and you can't spare a few dollars during production of your product to help keep your consumers healthy.
Like I said before, many athletes drink my product and they're okay. They're the example of health.
But it's not just athletes who drink your product, there are young kids who do as well. And these kids are at risk for developing type 2 diabetes at a very young age and are also being put at risk for future health conditions. So what do you have to say about that?
That sounds like a them problem and not much of a me problem.
So again, you don't care about what's happening to these young people due to your products.
This interview? Over.
Sir, you agreed to a 30-minute interview.
Go and take it up with my lawyers.
Well, that was unexpected. Up next, I will be talking to a scientist who actually works in the Hershey factories to create high fructose corn syrup. Growing up, Halloween was my favorite day of the year. I'd dress up, go trick-or-treating, and then come home with bags full of candy, which would be gone in about 2 weeks' time. Totally unhealthy, but perfectly normal for a kid my age. It wasn't until I was 11 that these habits stopped cold turkey. My parents showed me an article about the consumption of high fructose corn syrup, a heavily processed sweetener used in products such as sugary drinks and processed foods. Not only does high consumption of HFCS have adverse health effects, but it also harms the health of the environment. I had tons more questions about the overall effect of the syrup, so I decided to meet with a food scientist named Dr. Reese Katz to see what he had to say. I reached out to so many food scientists, but he was the only one who seemed interested in talking about the subject. How are you doing today, Dr. Katz? Excuse me, Dr. Cat, are you there? Dr. Cat? Hello, sir? His connection just came back. So, you've been working as a food scientist with Hershey for over 10 years, and your job is pretty much to help create the chemicals used to create chocolate that you guys end up selling and people end up eating and enjoying. So, could you talk a little bit about high fructose corn syrup?
Well, what about high fructose corn syrup? I mean, it's nearly identical to regular sugar in every way. It has glucose and fructose in it, just like regular old table sugar. Of course, sugar in high quantities is bad for you regardless of its glucose. High fructose corn syrup, or regular old table sugar, but one's not necessarily worse for you.
Well, why use high fructose corn syrup over just normal sugar? If they're practically the same, excluding the fact that sugar is natural and doesn't have to be produced in a lab. Dr. K?
I don't think I can answer that one.
Okay, final question. In your professional opinion, do you think that high fructose corn syrup is really the best thing for people to be consuming? Sir, excuse me, this is an interview where you have to respond to me.
I don't think I can answer that one.
Excuse me, Dr. Cat. Well, he left the meeting, so this seems to be a topic that a lot of people are avoiding. And I guess up next I'll be meeting a nutritionist to see his opinions about high fructose corn syrup. But hopefully I don't have the same bad luck as I did with the last two. Up next, please welcome doctor and nutritionist David Goodman. Dr. Goodman, it's wonderful to be speaking to you today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. As an expert in your field, what are some of the harmful effects of high fructose corn syrup on the human body?
Your typical table sugar has a 50-50 glucose to fructose ratio, while high fructose corn syrup is a 45 to 55 glucose to fructose ratio. Glucose enhances the body's ability to digest fructose, meaning that if eaten in balanced and equal proportions, such as typical table sugar, we can easily digest fructose. However, due to the abnormally high level of fructose in high fructose corn syrup, more fructose is taken in by our body than it can handle to digest properly. This process of consuming more fructose than glucose is called excess free fructose, which can lead to a number of digestive issues. Additionally, excess fructose is metabolized in the liver, where it typically is converted into fat rather than ATP for instant usage, which can cause unhealthy weight gain.
Wow, I never knew something as good as HFCS could negatively affect your body to such an extent. Are there any realistic solutions towards maybe slowing down or even stopping the negative effects of HFCS or the effects that HFCS has on one's body?
Yes, there are a variety of different methods that can be used to stop or help slow down the effects the high fructose corn syrup has on our body. By limiting or avoiding the intake of processed foods that contain high fructose corn syrup, such as soda, candy, juice, salad dressings, and canned fruit, we can help reduce an individual's high fructose corn syrup intake. The metabolic effects previously mentioned, including digestive issues, can be reverted in as little as 9 days if sugar intake is limited, meaning that if we limit the amount of high fructose corn syrup we intake for a little over a week, we can start to see clear beneficial results. Now, one of the most important solutions, in my opinion, is to always check the label. This one is very important because high fructose corn syrup is an ingredient in a number of foods where you would not expect to find it, such as sliced bread, yogurt, granola, frozen dinners, or packaged meals, and as previously mentioned, salad dressings. By researching beforehand and when you shop, and reading labels of products, and reducing the number of products in your household that contain high fructose corn syrup, as well as reducing the number of high fructose corn syrup products in your diet, we can slow down and even eliminate the negative effects of high fructose corn syrup on our bodies.
That's very interesting. Thank you for your time and expertise.
Of course, I'm very grateful to be a part of a project like this.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and my guest today. Though some were hesitant to share information, I'm sure all of us can gain some valuable knowledge about the negative effects of high fructose corn syrup. Have a wonderful day, and remember, you can be the change you wish to see in the world.